Happy Halloween! Today is a very special day, not just because it is Halloween or because it's Samhain for all the witches and magicians out there. No, today is a very special day because it is Monster Bash time. I joined way too late, but I got it done. I'm filming this at 12:35. This video needs to be live tonight at 8 p.m. So I'm in a bit of a crunch here, but I love what I created. If you don't know what Monster Bash is, it's pretty simple. A bunch of creators and friends here on YouTube have all drawn cards. On these cards, they've drawn body parts, faces, just inspiration, whatever. These cards all get put into a big pile, a big deck, and then you draw some random cards and you use those random cards that you drew as inspiration for a build. You could draw something, or you could kitbash something, you could sculpt something, whatever. And this year I was able to participate, which was not as smooth as I would have hoped because I was gone for Camping Kitbash and Spiel in Essen. I kind of missed the original announcement back in September when everybody kind of hopped on a call together and Trent from Miscast gave everyone their cards. So I texted Trent, I was like, hey, I'll be at Spiel until Monday. I will have like 2 days to do a Monster Bash before the deadline. Are you cool to give me some cards and also can I draw some cards? And he was really kind and he said yes. So he did a little private card drawing for me. So everyone who participates in Monster Bash draws some cards from this deck, and the people participating also draw the cards beforehand. And I wanted to contribute my own cards to the deck, so these are my 8 entries for this year. There's a special rule this year where we have these remix cards. Those are the ones on the bottom, and they're made up out of 2 parts. So you can see me trying to make up designs that'll be interesting, even when you split them down the middle. So I decided to do this leg, one of them is dead and one of them is alive, and then an hourglass. I particularly like the suns and the scary, creepy ghost face. If you decide to participate in Monster Bash, you might draw one of my cards. And how much fun you'd have with that. Alright, let's commune with the Oracle and see what cards we drew, and then we'll get to building.
Hey! Welcome, traveler. It is me, the Oracle. Would you like some Monster Bash cards today?
Yes, please.
Did you come to the Oracle with a wish?
No, I forgot I had to do that.
That's okay. It happens. You know, things get lost interdimensionally. Do you have a number in mind? Preferably between 1 and 6.
6.
Okay, that's very high. That is very unexpected. Okay, the Oracle knew you would pick 6. It's all good. Okay. I have many decks here of cards. Shall we proceed with finding you ahead?
Yes, please.
The only problem is the Oracle has limited dexterity, so if you could maybe wave your hands magically while I find these cards. Thank you. I appreciate that very much. So, for your head, the Oracle has found for you the perfect combination.
Ooh, I love it. It's like a lich, maybe?
Okay, good. The Oracle knew you'd like it. Shall we find you a body now?
I would love that.
Alright. You will also need to wave your hands magically while I shuffle this very, Thank you. Oh, perfect. Okay. And I have found the perfect body for your Monster Bash. For your top card, and for your bottom card.
Okay.
Shall we find you a limb?
Yes.
For your limb, your first card is this. And for your bottom card...
Alright. And so the Oracle drew more cards for me, lots of remix and wild cards for me to use in my Monster Bash. This was a ton of fun.
The Oracle is very good at their job, for they have seen everything.
Thank you, Oracle.
You're most welcome. I have to get out of here. I've got all of time and space to tend to all at once. So good luck. Not that you need it. I've already seen that you've done it, and it was spectacular, and nothing went wrong. Okay.
So now that I had my cards, it was time to go and look for some bits, find some inspiration among all of the stuff I own and build something. Found a really good head. That's pretty good. I've got this hand and I'm thinking of like using these like cow legs as maybe like a platform that the creature sits on top of, and then having the udder down here maybe, and then using these fingers as like the nipples. I found some other bits on this sprue, Archon Studio sprue. So if you look here, this is like an arm with like a mask as like a pauldron, and it's got the fingers outstretched. And there's a second one with a different pose, so might use those. Also, look at that piece there. That'll be great for like somewhere on the throne maybe. Okay, so it's not exactly in the right position because I want it pointing down, and if the shoulder is going to be aligned, it's going to be pointing forward. So I'm going to have to cut and reglue that. I've got these Empire Flagellants bits. They're really good. Okay, so I've decided I want to use these cow legs as the platform, and I broke up a very rectangular long sort of grave, and I used that as like a shattered platform on top. I've also pinned this leg, and I got a 60mm base that I've put a hole in. I'm hoping I'm gonna be able to use the torso from the flagellant, so I don't have to sculpt that as well, and then we'll see which hands we end up using. So here's the rough idea. We've got the platform with the cow legs, we've got the finger udder underneath, and then on top I want to build a sort of throne out of graves for this sort of lich, demon, priest character to sit on top of. Alright, let's get to building. I was trying out some different stuff with these gravestones. And using some wires, I'm measuring the length of the legs of this flagellant so I can sculpt my own legs and then bend them into a crisscross applesauce kind of a situation, like that. Using some green stuff to sculpt some organic shapes, and also the udder to the bottom of our cow with those fingers. That is absolutely horrid, but I kinda love it. I thought the guy should sit on a little pedestal and have like a gravestone as a rest for his back. And then I sculpted some robes hanging down his folded legs, kind of like a monk sitting in a meditation position. Now for the arms, I decided to cut off the rest of the arms and only keep the hands and attach them to some wire so I could sculpt my own arms. And so you'll see me attach those with some super glue. And then I tried out some heads. I did end up preferring this flagellant head. It looked a little bit less maniacal and more chill, which I think fits the mini a little bit better. So I did quite some sculpting. You can see here on the whole piece, I finished his arms. I also put a lot of resin candles that I got at Camping Kitbash. All over the piece, I attached a little piece of parchment and a book on the top. I think all of these things are like offerings, or maybe they make it look more like a ritual space. And these chains help with conveying the movement of the swaying walking platform. The next day it was time for painting. I started with the base like I always tend to do, and moved on to the stone of the platform. It's all made out of gravestones in my mind, so it made sense to paint them very similar to the rest. I'm just dry brushing this with some Carrick stone and some screaming skull. And then for the fleshy parts, I decided to do these basically the same, just some Caucasian skin tones with some red washes. I want to do like a green-red contrast with these tealish greens. So I'm keeping that in mind when picking other colors, and mostly picking neutrals or cold and desaturated colors, so the red robes will really stand out in the end. Picking out all of the kind of off-white pieces, so that's going to be the parchment, the skulls, the candles. Makes sense to do them all at once, so you can kind of apply all of the later steps as well. And then my favorite part, which is highlighting, especially on large surfaces such as this huge cow leg. I wonder where this came from. I don't know where the bit came from actually. And then his skin, I'm just treating it the same, so I'm doing progressive highlights with lighter and lighter colors, almost getting close to like an off-white bone color in the end. I'm just highlighting kind of where the light would catch. And remember to really push that contrast. It's like stage makeup, so you want it to be readable from afar. So that's why I'm going in and I'm really like putting some harsh lines here. But they'll be great in the end. When you look at it from afar, they'll look really good. They'll really pop. With some red wash, I now decided to do like a recessed shade to really push the contrast everywhere where there's like folds or wrinkles or where skin overlaps another part of the leg. So that includes his hands, and also I did it in his eyes and kind of like in between his nose and his mouth. And then some final highlights with a very, very light, kind of almost white color. Just some dot highlights here and there, just getting the tip of his nose and the top of his nose bridge, the very, very top of his cheekbones. This will look nice and sharp in the end. I used the same color to dot the eyes. I have decided I didn't need pupils for this guy. You know, sometimes it's not worth the hassle. And with like a spiritual, creepy wizard lich, I don't think he needs pupils. I think it looks great like this, kind of magical and ominous. So there you go. I painted the robes with some red, and I think that looks pretty good. Putting some washes on there, just a dark red wash to get some shading in there. And then I used the same wash to kind of glaze over the udder to make it like a little bit more reddish, maybe inflamed looking. Horrible stuff, I know. The book, like I said before, I'm picking out in this tealish green, which I think works really well with the red for the robes and kind of gives this whole piece a very cohesive, nice color scheme. I like to base all of my metals with black first, because my metal colors tend to cover better. And then highlighting the robes. This was 2 highlight steps, so progressively lighter with each one. All of these folds are really nice and easy to highlight, and it looks great once you're done. So that's something you can take advantage of when sculpting. His beard and his hair I based in like a very, very light gray, just so I could then highlight with white. If you start with white, there's nowhere else to go, so keep that in mind. I decided to do a freehand in this book, and because I drew the card with the rabbit ears, I thought the rabbit should be like his motif. And so I decided to draw like a medieval rabbit illustration that you would find in like the marginalia of some medieval manuscript. And he's blowing into a horn, kind of like the angels that are heralding someone's coming, right? So maybe this is the rabbit that heralds this demon. Or maybe he just likes rabbits. I had to redo the horn because it was a little bit wide at first. And then on the other side I decided I would do some alchemical symbols, kind of giving you little clues as to who this is. So there's salt in the middle, there's the moon on the top, and then below that there's the earth. Moving on to the back, there's a little scroll there too. So I just decided to fill this with writing. There's like some important document that this guy is carrying around, or maybe one of his followers decided this should be adorning the throne that this guy is sitting on. Some final highlight steps on the teal, and that should finish up the candles in the book really nicely, as well as the little gems in his open palms. And then for the metals, I decided to go with a brass because I thought doing some verdigris would be a good way to tie in some more of this green. And then the chains are just like a dark iron color. So there you go, just putting some dark green wash over the metals, and you can see how that kind of weathers them. I also used the same dark green wash to very subtly paint some veins on the udder. And there it is, he's done. Just painting the rim. And there we go. Well, I stayed up until 3 a.m. yesterday to paint this guy, and I think he turned out pretty good. I think he turned out pretty good. I'm so happy with this. I think this might be my favorite mini that I've ever painted, just because it's so unique and so me, and also because it has like these beautiful memories of this community event. So the idea is I drew a little rabbit on one page because of the card that I drew with the rabbit ears, and I think that this person, this is like a magician or a demon, or maybe a lich, someone who was maybe once mortal but has now attained like immortality, and they call themselves the White Rabbit, and because they want you to follow them, right? Maybe this is an attempt to sound kind of more innocent than they really are, or maybe the name was given to them by like an even higher authority. We don't know. On the other page of the book, I drew the alchemical symbol for salt in the middle, because I think the whole idea of like the udder and the fingers, it's like touching, grounding, nourishing, abundance. All of these are like very earthly aspects, so I thought salt would be really good. And then I've got the symbol for the moon above the salt, symbolizing the fertility, going with the cow motif. And then below the salt is the earth to kind of ground all of that. So I think this is like a demon of the flesh, maybe. He's holding his hands in the as above, so below position, kind of signifying a sort of balance that needs to be struck between the earth and what lies beyond. He's also got all of these offerings and candles all around him. So I think this might be like some sort of like fertility or nourishment idol, maybe wandering the battlefield looking for people that will worship him. Really happy with it. I'm so excited. I hope I get this edited in time. Please let me know what you thought. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed. It really helps the channel and allows me to do more cool stuff like this. Hopefully not on such a crunch next time. There's a playlist with all of the monsterbash videos. It's linked in the description. So after this video, go and check out all of the other amazing creations. I've seen some of the stuff people are making and it is insane. So yeah, happy Halloween, enjoy all of the monsterbash creations, and I hope to see you in the next video.